You are riding along with Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, we get a lot of cool stuff here in the studio, but this is one of the coolest. In fact, everybody on the crew has had a spin on this thing. It's an e-bike from Solfast e-bikes, and this looks different than anything I've ever seen out there, Jim. Why is it different from the other e-bikes I've seen?
Obviously, the design of my frame. This is a very unique style frame we have right here, with the integration of the down tube battery, the oversizedness of the frame, just the sheer boldness of it.
It kind of resembles a BMX bike. How does that tap into your heritage?
Yeah, I raced BMX back in the 70s, did some motocross racing. I've basically been on two wheels my entire life. So I wanted to build an overgrown BMX bike, which I had a really good run with the pedal scene, and then we migrated into the electric segment, which is huge. But a bike like this it's like a rugged bike. I mean, it's designed for the guy that really wants to do some riding.
It's super durable. Let's start with the tires. Those jump out at me. Tell me what you're using here.
Yeah, so we start off with a really wide rim, so we get the big, bold look. We stamp out the rims to save some weight, and then we run a low-profile performance tire. So this works absolutely phenomenal on asphalt, concrete, wet conditions, but if you want to do some trail riding, it's still a good tread pattern for that because we're using a low-profile tire. It's expanded out, so it's low and wide like a sports car. It takes hardly any energy to get it going or to keep it going. So handling, taking off, braking is superb on this.
Let's talk about the motor.
Yeah, so we use the Bafang motor. This is their 750 watt hub motor. Puts out 1,000 watts of peak power. It's super durable, but yet super efficient.
And coupled with the batteries in here, what kind of life am I getting from this thing? How far can I go?
Batteries are the big question out on the market right now. So we use all certified Samsung cells, and this is a 14 amp hour battery. So it's got plenty of power to actually go long distance, but it has a lot of juice for low end hit.
And this is an e-bike, so that means you're getting some power assist. How does that work?
Pretty much any e-bike out on the market has different levels of power assist. So when you turn the power on, it engages into a couple different levels. So level 1 being the lowest level is going to turn on a little bit of energy for the motor, matched with your own pedal power.
How many levels are there?
We can go up to 5 levels, even 9 levels, just depending on how much we want to break it out. So level 5 is going to be full power.
Or you have a little throttle lever.
You have a throttle override, so you can be in level 0, pedal on your own energy, but still have a full throttle override.
Gotcha, very cool. And of course, everyone wants to know, what's the high speed?
These will do sub 30s. They're going to be a class 2 bike out of the box, so they're going to limit it to about 20 miles an hour, but you can go into the display and change some settings so you can get max power.
Let's talk about comfort here. The seat's enormous. It's super cushy. I've ridden on this thing.
Yeah, we have a nice big saddle. It's a nice sporty saddle. Got some extra support gussets back here that also doubles as a bottle opener. We've got a 3M reflective logo back here. It's just a comfortable saddle. This is the type of bike where you don't need to upgrade the saddle and the grips and the pedals. It's got all the cool stuff already on it.
The light, that's not something you have to buy extra either?
Yeah, it's got an integrated front headlights, a low draw light, but puts out a great beam. We use a push button flashlight right here, so we didn't want to run a wire all the way back here and have a bunch of hokey looking wires out.
Yeah, let's talk about that. This is a really clean look. I see some wires in the back, but you don't see wires strung all along the frame. How much did you think about that when you were designing this?
Well, that's the nice thing about having the integrated down tube batteries. We actually have a huge channel down here where we put all the wiring harnesses, the brake line, the shifter line. We just have 2 exit holes back here, one for the derailleur and one for the power, and then one for the hydraulic brake line.
And I see you've got a couple connectors here. So if something happens to a line either down here or up top, you can just replace part of it. And
it's real easy to troubleshoot. We're making this bike super simple. Let's say you crash and your display's not working, or it gets wet, or your throttle gets damaged. It's real easy to replace and kind of troubleshoot what's going on.
And let's talk about the gearing here. It's power assist, but you can pedal on your own if you want to.
Yeah, so it's got a Shimano 7-speed derailleur on it. So you've got the low gear and a high gear, just like your regular 10-speed bicycles. The cassette is basically built right into the hub, so it's a pretty maintenance-free system here.
Very cool, and that's all about how it goes. Let's talk about how it stops.
Yeah, braking is a big factor on an e-bike. You have to figure you're going twice as fast, you're moving twice as much, so brakes are a big important system on the bikes. This particular model, we're using the hydraulic brakes.
Gotcha, and these are disc brakes all around too.
All models have disc brakes.
And suspension, it's a safety issue, it's also a comfort issue.
Well, a suspension fork like this is going to be a typical fork that's going to work well on road verbiage, some curbs. It's not really a competition fork, but it's still nice to have that additional cushioning.
Sort of a hybrid. You can ride it off-road a little bit if you need to, and of course it's made for cruising on the roads or on a path or something.
Yeah, if you're doing some really high-speed riding, you can actually lock the forks out so you don't have any suspension.
What's this thing like to ride? I mean, I've ridden it just a little bit, but let's talk about comfort on this thing.
It's extremely comfortable. I mean, it's a big, large frame. It literally has BMX geometry, but it's a great cruiser. But if you really wanted to moto it, that's what it's built for.
All right, we've addressed how comfortable it is to ride. How long can I ride it? How long is the battery going to last?
Great question. So a typical cruising range, which is going to be level 1, 4th gear, pedaling with the bike, we're going to see well north of 40 to 45 miles of cruising. This all depends on the rider's weight, height, size, road conditions, hills, headwinds. So figure anywhere from 40 to 50 miles of cruising.
And one tool I can use to monitor that is the display there.
The display has an automatic voltage meter already built in it, which gives you a live view exactly where that battery's at all times.
And all of it's built on this amazing frame. First of all, I love it because it's the Golf Porsche colors,
Right.
which is super cool. What makes the frame so strong?
Basically, it's gonna be the design of it. This is where I specialize at. You know, we've used all hand-picked components on here, but we've got an overbuilt head tube, and this is all hydroformed. My rear subframe here is also hydroformed. I use these big giant dropouts, which are CNC water jets, along with these plates here. So it's structurally super rigid. There's no flex on this frame.